Hello. Hey guys. How you going? Hey. All right. Hope you're having a good morning. I've had a very, very big morning and a very eye-opening morning. A very, kind of one of those look in the mirror type mornings where you're like, just the universe reminds you, right, that you are the reason for everything in your life. And if you don't like it, look at yourself. Look at where you don't like yourself right now, right? So, what I want to talk about today is attracting really shitty people into your life. Now, we all do this. We all do this. And I know I've been very guilty of this in the past where it's been like ongoing, basically, right? So what I mean is basically, obviously we all have like our standard people in our life, like our family and friends and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about, new clients or just new acquaintances that you're coming across, customers if you work in like a face-to-face kind of contact type thing, just generally people that you meet. So even you go to a store and you buy something or whatever it is, right? And you can go through these phases where basically you're just attracting really shitty people. And you will always, a lot of people will find that they always tend to attract the same kind of shitty person, and it will really be about what tends to trigger you the most as a person. And that trigger can be just something that you haven't dealt with properly, or it can be a reminder about something within yourself that you really don't like and that triggers you, right? So for me, for example, right, one of my pet peeves and one of my things I'm very conscious about is that I absolutely hate flakiness. I hate people not committing to things, or not even just committing, but not following through on stuff and not sticking it out and basically just jumping ship from one to the next to the next to the next. So this very often I see obviously in the health and fitness industry and with people in the past. I've watched this happen because I didn't used to do this very much, and I sort of realized why it annoyed me so much. Because I watched it happen. People do it where you get like a new, for example, new fitness plan, new diet plan, whatever it is. And it's kind of like you get it, and almost as soon as you have it, even before you've started, you're like jumping ship already, or already looking for the next shiny bright thing to jump onto. And so you're like, oh, I want this, 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 and this. But now that I've got it, now that I've got a plan, now that I can implement this, now that I can follow through with it, I'm just gonna go look over there. I think that looks shiny. I think that looks brighter. I think that looks more fun. And you can see this in like a longer term sort of thing as well, where someone gets a new diet plan or whatever it is, or a new training regime, for example, and they stick to it for a little bit. They stick to it for like, say a week or two or whatever it is. And then they just kind of, something comes up, like life comes up, in case you didn't realize, like problems and obstacles will come up, and they will be there to test you. And these flaky people, right, they will basically use this as a complete detour off the plan that they were on, right? And so they may or may not even return to it. And if they do, then they don't really follow through with it completely, because they've got it in the back of their mind that it's not working, because rather than focusing on the fact that they actually took their foot off the pedal and stepped completely off this plan, and that was the reason it stopped working, they start to blame instead the plan itself. And this is something that I've been guilty of in the past myself, is I get really down on myself and go, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And then I kind of go, well, hold on. Have you actually committed to it? Have you actually followed through with what it is? Well, no. So then, shock horror, it's not the plan that's working. It's my consistency that's not working, right? Hi. I think, who's here? Say hello. Little like just came across the screen. Anyway, so with that happening, right, it's basically, now got all distracted. Yeah. So this flakiness is something that really, really annoys me now, and it's something that I don't have the time for, especially when it's coupled with like rudeness, when it's someone's personality is flaky and rude, right? Because I understand that we all have bad days. I understand that we all have stuff going on or whatever it is. But it's something that I've developed within myself. I guess for me, it's kind of come more naturally, but it's something that I really value, and therefore something that I demand of my friends and clients and acquaintances and basically anyone in my bubble. I will not let people into my bubble that are going to violate this, which is just common courtesy and just not being rude, right? To the point of, well, if you're having a shit day or whatever and you do something wrong, basically, like you just stuff something up, or you're rude to someone you didn't mean to be because you were, just in a bad mood at the time and it wasn't them or whatever. I very much value just an apology, plain and simple. Like you just go up to the person and say, hey, look, I'm really, really sorry. That was really out of line. The way that I spoke to you, the way that I treated you, whatever it was, I was having a bad day. Fix your mistake. It's as simple as that, right? Like how hard is it to say sorry? For something that you actually genuinely mean. So when people don't say that, I can very quickly tell that they don't actually have either respect for anything in general, which is obviously a bigger life problem for them, or they just don't have that respect for me, which is fine. In which case, I don't need to be around you. You don't need to be in my bubble, because if you don't respect me, then we're not going to work well together. Because my friendships, my relationships, my everything, my clients, everyone, we have a mutual respect, and that's something that I believe is very, very important, regardless of anything else. So that flakiness, that kind of need for like, oh, I want this, and this, but now actually this looks fun. I'm going to go over this way. I'm going to go over this way, and I'm not going to actually, pinpoint to anything. And then when nothing happens, when nothing changes, when I don't get what I want, I'm going to blame you because I asked you for all this stuff, and why didn't you give it to me? No. I don't care that I didn't commit to it. I don't care that I didn't follow through with it for longer than like a day, if I even did that, or a week, or whatever it was. I'm going to blame you because that's what I do. That's why I'm flaky, right? That's why it happens, because I can blame someone else, and therefore I can move on to the next shiny object and then blame that one and keep moving, right? So if you want to know why you're not getting where you want to go, it's going to be because of this, right? I've probably gone off on a tangent here, which is fine. That's fine. But so that's what I mean by, there we go. That's what I was talking about, attracting people into your life. So as you can tell, obviously that's the kind of thing that I'm very wary of. And when it happens, it very rarely happens to me. I'm very good at just attracting the kind of people that I know I need to have in my life and in my bubble, right? I love my bubble. I don't even have any water. Bear with me one sec. So when I'm attracting people that are like this, that are the flaky types, that have for some reason come into my life, I'm very well aware that there is something going on internally that has shifted for me, and I need to fix that ASAP, because otherwise it's going to be a problem, right? And so that's when you kind of have to look a little bit in the mirror. And this is something that's really hard, especially when it's a trait that you specifically really hate in a person, or not hate, but it irritates you to no end. And we all have these certain things that just grind us, right? And the truth is that deep down, it's because we have some sort of relationship to it. We have some sort of maybe belief that we are like this, or that we have been like this in the past, and that we are trying to break through it. So that's why it really, really grinds us when other people do it. And I know for myself, although I've been very consistent and very disciplined in so many areas of my life, there are areas as well that I get very flaky, and I will pretend to myself that I'm not flaky. And so when this kind of thing comes up, it's almost like a trigger to me to remind myself to check back, have a look in the mirror and go, okay, where are you right now being flaky? Where are you not following through? Where are you kind of half foot in, take a step in, take 2 steps out, go in another direction, not fully committing to things? And like straight away, as soon as you just assess that, as soon as you bring it back onto yourself and go, okay, where is this coming up for me right now? It's so clear. Like for me, very obviously, and I felt this over the weekend, I could tell. And so I probably attracted this even more to myself. I didn't do a live stream for about 3 days. I'm not sure I did one Friday. It's been a few days, right? And that's not normal for me. This is me showing up. This is me spreading well, spreading my message. This is me, the way that I communicate, the way that I build my business, the way I get myself out there. This is what I do. So for me to be not doing that, it's basically me not showing up as me, and it's me being flaky and giving myself, excuses and stuff like, granted, I knew that on Saturday I wouldn't be really live streaming or anything like that, because I took a full day after the beach with my husband, which was absolutely beautiful. But there was no reason for Friday. There was no reason for Sunday. It was just purely flakiness, right? It was just shiny object syndrome. Something else seemed like more fun. And the truth is, there's nothing more fun for me than this. This is what I love to do, right? So if something's happening and you're not, and people are showing up in your life that are triggering you, that are annoying you, that are really getting into your pet peeves, it's time to look in the mirror and have a look at, well, where am I doing this right now? So for me, the flakiness, the not committing to something, the not following through, the kind of this I'll do this, but then I'll go do this, and then I'll go do this, and then I'm not really fully committed to anything. When I actually look and see, okay, well, where am I doing that right now? I can pick up on it really quickly. And so if you get in the habit of being very aware of the energy that you're putting out, and that's what it comes down to, is your energy, the vibe that you're attracting, it's always going to reciprocate you. So sometimes it'll be really, really fleeting, and then that's just, I do believe in just randomness sometimes, and it's just whatever. I guess everything to me has a meaning, I guess, but you don't have to overthink everything. But when it's something that's a bit meaningful, that's kind of triggered you a little bit, that's kind of made you stop and think and kind of got aggravated over, then there's something deeper going on. And it's something about your vibe, your energy, what you're attracting, what you're putting out. And even if you don't think it's conscious, if you think you haven't done anything different, dig a little deeper and you will find it. You'll find it, whatever it is, whether it's, like I said, people that are flaky, whether it irritates you when people, what's something else that people get really annoyed at quickly? I'm not sure. I guess for me, it's all about that sort of not following through, not committing to something, not just being consistent at something, saying you want something and then not doing the work. There we go. That's one of my big triggers, is saying you want something and then just not following through with the work that's required, and just expecting it to be handed to you on a silver platter. That's another one of my triggers, right? And that's because as much as I've been disciplined in many areas of my life for so long, there are areas as well that I know I'm extra flaky, and I know that I'm extra lazy and not following through and not showing up the way that I say I will, and that kind of stuff. So therefore, when it happens, when I start magically attracting these people back into my life again, I know that if I actually look in the mirror, I'm going to discover that there's an area right now that I'm doing this in, and I'm not admitting to it, I'm not confronting it, I'm not actually dealing with it, right? So same exact thing, the kind of people that you find that you keep on attracting, and especially if it's really annoying you, because like I'm sure there's plenty of people that I come past every day that do annoying things, but it doesn't annoy me, it doesn't frustrate me, it doesn't sit with me for any period of time, because it's not one of my triggers, it's not something that's worth me acknowledging, basically. But when it is something worth acknowledging, that's when you kind of take a step back and go, all right, where am I doing this right now? Where am I not following through with this right now? How is this within me that I'm projecting and that I'm therefore attracting? And that's all it is. It's a mirror. It is a mirror. The people we attract into our lives are a mirror of our internal selves. So if you're attracting really shitty people, you have a really shitty internal state right now. And that's what you need to work on. If you fix that, the world, the universe can only mirror you. It can only bring whatever your vibe is, whatever your energy is, it can bring that back to you. It's not going to just bring shit to you when your vibe and your everything internally is fantastic and in flow and on purpose and happy and in love and giving love and all that kind of stuff. That's your energy, the universe isn't going to keep throwing shit at you. Yeah, you'll get it there once in a while, for sure. But it's not going to be what you get over and over and over. And this is why I guess even just like one little thing for me now is such an obvious sign, because for me, the grand majority of the time, 99% of the time, it is just exactly my bubble people. It's exactly the way I want it, how I want it, everything. So when it gets triggered, then I know, okay, there's something going on here that I need to address now before it escalates, before I suddenly start attracting mountains of people like this, right? So that's all I wanted to say about that. Cool. So let me know what you think. If you're watching this on replay, feel free to pop a comment in below. Let me know what triggers you. I'd be interested to know, if you're watching this, what is your trigger? What do you find in people that come along really, really annoys you? And then sometimes you kind of look in and go, oh, okay, the reason this annoys me is because it's something I do. And something that we get taught, I think, when we're really, really young, about like, you know, bullies and stuff, is like whatever they're bullying you about is what they really think of themselves. Or like, you know, that whole even childhood thing of someone says an insult and you go, I know you are, but what am I? And it's almost like a foreseeing, basically, of the reality, which is whatever faults and whatever issues you see in other people that really, really impact you are likely your own faults, are likely things that you're trying to deal with. And I don't mean things like in general just faults, or not faults, but the issues that you can see people coming up against. I don't mean every single one of them you're going to have. I'm telling you the ones that trigger you, the ones that make you get riled up, the ones that stick in your mind even when you want to let it go, you just can't seem to let it go. That stuff, not just, you know, oh, that person is obviously, you know, whatever they've done and there's their personality thing, and then you've just moved on and completely forgotten about it. That's not a trigger for you. That's just you making a judgment call, right? This is the stuff that actually does trigger you and affects you and makes you kind of sit up and think and go, oh crap, this is really annoying. How do I get this person out of my life? The way you get this person out of your life is getting that character trait, that whatever it is, out of your life, out of your internal shit. So actually sitting up and going, nah, I'm done. I need to have a look at where I'm turning up and where I'm showing up like this and being like this, and address that. The world, the universe is going to just be a mirror. So as soon as you own up to it, as soon as you go, yeah, okay, this is where I'm actually doing this trait that's really annoying me, this is how I'm doing it right now. As soon as you address that and deal with it and move on, that person, that thing, that entire vibe, that energy will be gone from you. You will not attract it again until the next time you might do it again. And that's why, yeah, like I said, you know, especially for people like us, you know, the general sort of type A, go, have to get everything done, have to hustle, have to do all, you know, just get busy and do lots of stuff. For us, a lot of the time, we do tend to suffer from a bit of flakiness, a bit of laziness, a bit of boredom, a bit of, if my time's not filled, if my time's not allotted 24/7, and I know for myself, I do this all the time. If I have a day where I just don't have go, next thing, I will get lazy. And so when that flows into a bit too much is when I start to get flaky and I start to not show up and not do the things that I said that I'll do, and not show up the way that I want to and not the way that I need to in order to build my business and in order to do everything the way I need to do it, right? So if that resonates with you, if that's, well, I hope it does, because that's who I'm talking to. So if you're here, then I'm talking to you. Then if that resonates with you, then you're going to understand that, right? And you're going to sort of go, yeah, I know that feeling. And yes, I do get flaky sometimes. And yes, I do get lazy sometimes and not follow through and just kind of take my foot off the pedal and just completely go in the opposite direction, basically. Just sort of drift off into that direction. But whatever it is that you're attracting, whatever it is that's annoying you in people, there's something within you that is basically asking for you to deal with it and to confront it and to move on from it, right? So that's it for that one. I think I'm done with that. Yeah. Actually, I was going to do a separate live stream, but I think I might just stick with, I'll just stick with the one live stream. And I'm going to add the little snippet onto the back of this one. Because the other thing I wanted to touch on was purely to do with health and fitness, or really more so like fat loss, for example, or even muscle gain, whatever it is that your goal is, whatever your body change goal is. Touching on basically going from what I was talking about just then, this idea of committing to something and to giving it a chance to actually work, as opposed to jumping ship from thing to thing to thing. And this is really, really important, because people often forget that there is no secret, or they just don't realize that there is no secret. There is no secret diet. There is no secret plan. There is no secret exercise regime, there is no secret anything to give you the body you want sustainably forever and ever. Having said that, there is a secret. And it's not a secret because I have said it so many times, and I know so many other people have said it so many times. It's consistency. That's all it is. It is showing up day after day, week after week, month after month, until you get the result, and then continuing to get that result, right? So the energy I have, the body I have, the fitness I have, all that kind of stuff, that didn't happen from a magical diet. It didn't happen from a magical exercise program. It didn't happen this week. It didn't happen last month. It didn't happen last year. It is an ongoing thing. There is nothing that I can tell you and go, look, go do this for 2 weeks and you're going to, lose a dress size or whatever it is, and it's going to be great. And yeah, you can. Don't get me wrong. I can give you a plan. Anyone can give you a plan that's going to make you lose a dress size in 2 weeks. It's really not hard. But whether or not it's sustainable, that's a different story, right? And whatever is going to make you have that drastic a change, depending on obviously your size. If you're quite big at the moment, then yeah, maybe you don't need too much of a drastic change to actually get a dress size difference. But for most people that I come across, because it's my vibe, it's my tribe, that have maybe less than 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 kilos to lose or whatever, it's not going to happen that quickly without a drastic change. And the drastic change is not going to be sustainable, right? Because people get really excited and they might get really into this idea of, oh, wow, look at this plan. It's so detailed. It's going to be fantastic. Yes, I'm going to prep all my meals, blah, 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 blah. First week, yeah, let's go. They get a few days in. They start to get a little bit bored with the food. They realize it doesn't all taste great. By the end of the week, they're kind of starting to cheat a little bit, just put a little bit extra in, get a little bit of sweet chili sauce on there, a little bit of barbecue sauce. By the weekend, they've kind of gone and had something and they won't tell their trainer about it. They've gone and had a donut or whatever it was and just kind of tried to write it off. And then it just escalates and it escalates. And it's because it's just not sustainable. It's not what you want to do long term, so you're not going to do it. And even if you do stick to it, if you just willpower your way through and stick to it, you're going to end up flaking out in the end because it's not what you want to do. And when you do flake out, you're going to revert back to what was comfortable beforehand. If you haven't set up a new comfortable, if basically whatever this diet plan is really uncomfortable and you don't like it, but you're doing it because willpower and because you're going to do it, you're going to revert back to whatever was comfortable beforehand because you haven't bothered to figure out what is comfortable, what is a new comfortable for you, basically, what is a new way of eating that will work for you long term that you can revert to, that's going to get you the goals you want, as opposed to basically it's A or B, right? It's either you're exactly on track, everything's right, you're clean eating, you're blah, 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 or you're just off the rails completely. There's no middle ground if you haven't worked out that middle ground in the first place. If you've gone from one to the other and that's it, there's no bridging of the gap anymore. You might not go back to as badly, overeating or whatever it was. You might not, but chances are you will. And chances are it'll be even worse because you're going to have felt deprived for so long. So that was part of what I wanted to say, is to just finding that middle ground and how important it is to actually look at your eating and everything holistically and sustainably. But the other thing is to just pick something that you can do and stick to it. Don't just change your mind every other week. If you are changing your mind because it's too restrictive and it's something that you're going to hate doing, and that's why you're over it after a few days or whatever, then fair enough, find something better. But if it's simply that you're just not committing, you're just kind of going, well, this doesn't seem drastic enough. It doesn't seem to be getting me the instant results. I'm not losing a dress size in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go do this now. And then I'm going to go do that. And then I'm going to go do that. And you're just binging or just hopping, more to the point, hopping from diet to diet to diet and exercise plan to exercise plan to exercise plan without actually ever sticking to it long enough to get the results. You're not going to get the results. Everything requires consistency. There is no secret except consistency. And when you want this, but you also want this, and you want this, and you want that, and everything else, and there's no overlap into just making it one cohesive whole, you're going to find yourself in trouble, and you're going to find yourself going round and round and round, and always blaming someone else for it, because that's what you're looking for. I'm just going to say it, right? When you're doing that, you are looking to blame someone else, because as long as you have all these 50 million different reasons, 50 million diets and whatever it is that you've done that are the reason why it's not working, well, you've got a lot of scapegoats, don't you? Whereas if you actually focus on something and you commit to it and it's not working, you get to take that responsibility for yourself, first of all, and say, okay, well, where am I not maybe following through with this the way that I should be? Let's be really honest. Let's actually look in the mirror and deal with it. Or B, you actually take some responsibility for figuring something out, for changing something, for making a shift, for going, okay, well, maybe it's this, and you actually grow from it, as opposed to jumping on whatever plan sounds good for 1 week and then another one, and then binging for a week because you're just deprived from both of them, and then you try another one and round you go, round and round and round. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth of it. You've got to commit to something. You've got to, or you're not going to get anywhere. It's as simple as that, right? Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I feel like we're done here. I feel like we're done. All right. So if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions about that kind of stuff, I'd love for you to let me know. If you are in Melbourne at the end of this month, the 25th of February, which is a Saturday, I am running an If It Fits Your Macros / flexible dieting workshop. So this will be happening in Melbourne in Mitcham, actually, which is like the eastern suburbs. So it's going to be a 4-hour workshop on the Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. And we are going to go through basically what If It Fits Your Macros is, which I'll post the link down below. I actually did like a whole live stream explaining basically what it means. But I'll give you the short version is it's a way of eating that allows you to track foods, but you actually get to eat whatever you want. So you don't have to cut out any foods, and it is very sustainable because it's not going to tell you you can't eat any particular foods for the rest of your life, or any particular food groups, or restricting you, or basically saying you can never have junk food again or anything like that. It's a way of incorporating it that makes it very sustainable because you can literally eat whatever you want. Having said that, there's obviously different things that you're going to learn about the fact that you can't just live on pizza and donuts, even though you can lose weight on it and you can lose fat and you can change your body composition, all of that stuff you can get. But let's be real, you're not going to feel fantastic on just processed food. There is going to have to be some, actual healthy, nutritious food involved. But there's by no means anything that says that you have to just eat clean or just eat vegetables and meat and all this kind of stuff. It's very sustainable. You can have your donuts, you can have your chocolate, you can have your whatever, and you can do it for life, which is kind of cool. So I've popped the link in down below so that you can check out that live stream if you want. It was just, I think I did it like a week or two ago, probably 2 weeks ago now, so that you can check out exactly what it is. But if you want in, let me know. PM me on the page here, just private message me. Wrong course. So it's $149 per person, and that's the 4 hours of the workshop. So you get actual private time with me as well to actually go through and you learn how to plan your own eating plan, which is the most important thing. It is absolutely 100% the most important thing. Anyone can write you a diet plan. Anyone can just give you a piece of paper with a bunch of food on it and tell you to eat this. But if you're not going to continue to eat that exact diet plan for the rest of your life, you're going to get different results. If you have absolutely no idea how to put it together yourself and what makes you feel good and what gets you to lose fat and what gets you to gain a bit of muscle and get toned and get lean, if you don't know any of that, then it's not going to help you in the long run anyway. You can just jump from plan to plan to plan, right? So $149 per person. If you have a friend or a family member that you want to do it with as well, you can get 2 of them for $250. So if you do have someone else that you think would benefit from this, definitely let them know about it and then get back to me, private message me on this page as soon as possible, because we do need exact numbers very shortly. I think, what are we on now? The 6th, I think, of February. So we've got about a week and a half before we have to close the doors and finalize numbers and everything. So if you're interested, private message me on here and we'll get that sorted for you. We'll get you in. So it's going to be on Saturday, 25th of February, 1 till 5 p.m. in the afternoon in Melbourne. There's going to be, like, obviously the workshop itself. You're going to get a booklet. You're going to get to make lots of notes. You're going to get my personalized help on the day. There's going to be coffee, tea, snacks, all that kind of stuff provided as well. All right, cool. So I'll leave you with that. I will pop that link down below. If you have any questions or any thoughts that you want to share from today's feed, please pop them down below. I will be checking them back later, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a beautiful Monday. Bye.